In nomine di nostri Satanae Luciferi excelsi, in domus deorum et ausium. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Angelus, son of Abaddon. And tonight, I'd like to talk to you about the sixth demon, the sixth demonic king from the Goetia. This being is definitely one of the special ones, especially when dealing with more than one order or foundation. Now, personally, like I said in my last video, I haven't, the one that I did with Zagon, is I haven't had much dealing with this being. Namely because of the fact that when I've called on the Nine Kings, I've opened the floor to the entire group. Okay? Not just a specific few of these kings. Okay? Normally, if with what I do and what I'm normally going for, I would work with a specific types, like say Paimon, Belial, or say Asmodeus. But when you open them up and you open up with the whole hierarchy, the entire foundation, the entire group of the Nine Kings, you're basically open the door for any one of them or the entire collective to do your bidding. Well, I wouldn't say do your bidding. It's more of the fact that you're giving them permission to open doors into your life, okay? And to aid you in your journey, okay? Whatever your endeavor is, they can do this. Now, in this case, we're talking Persian, okay? Now, Persian has been spoken of within the sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage as being one of the spirits of the cardinal directions. Okay. Hey, Holly. Welcome to the channel and the video. He is one of the four elemental spirits, which is kind of cool, especially when you're dealing with the demonic Bible by Turk Suzij. Okay. And you'll find this one in there as well. So, I mean, especially right underneath all the rituals, because you deal with the four crown princes and then you go into the cardinal directions and so forth. Okay. So, I mean, that's one text I would recommend that you look into. Now, Persian is one of those few, like I said, that deals with more than one foundation, order, even. He belongs to the Order of Virtues and the Order of the Thrones, which is kind of rare. You don't see these two going hand in hand a lot. Now, his name, which is also known as an alias, by the way, is known as Curson, okay? Curson. Now, what's ironic here is that he's found in the Goetia, the Book of Ceremonial Magic on page 201, the Encyclopedia of Occultism on page 119, but also in a few others, okay, like the Discovery of Witchcraft by Reginald Scott, the Pseudodamian Archaea Daemonum, okay, as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of texts that speak to this one spirit. Now, it could be said that Curzon is the child of Tiamat and Leviathan, because there are a few stories where these two were actually mates. And Curzon, or Persian rather, really has shown up after this fact. Tiamat is found in the first tablet, also known as the Enema Elish, and in some biblical texts, specifically that of the Middle Eastern, such as Judaism, the Jewish Haggadah, or the Talmud, and a few others, he is known as Leviathan is spoken on, and these two have been known to frequent each other. Okay, so the question is, did they produce Persian, or was he his own entity? Because what's ironic here is that they were both classified as angelics in some cases. Now, if we look at the Encyclopedia of Occultism, we see where he is pronounced or described as an angel within two different orders. Okay. The Book of Ceremonial Magic sees him as one of the nine kings of the Goetia. Okay. And what's ironic here is that it said that he can see and foretell past, present, and future events and reveal or discover hidden treasure. Okay. He can even hide it in some cases. The discovery of witchcraft sees him underneath his alias as Curzon. Okay. The Sadio uh, Monarchia Daemonum includes the alias and his actual name Pursan. Okay, Pursan. Pursan. Now, even though both texts reveal his appearance, okay, and being heralded by trumpets, much like King Belial, it's said that he even speaks upon matters of occultism and creation. Now, the creation aspects is more of the creation of the earth, okay? Not the overall creation of the universe. It's these really speak to the earth matters, okay? Which I found very, very interesting in my own research into this being. Now, he's also so he can speak on the divine nature as well, which is very cool. Here, he governs as a king underneath 22 legions of spirits while holding the rank of king. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now, what's ironic though, and this is something that I found very interesting. Now, the two main characteristics of his appearance is that he rides a bear and that he holds a viper in his left hand or in one of his hands, I should say, because in some texts it says his left hand, others it just says his hand. Okay. But the other characteristics, such as his face, his outlook, his head, in one case, it is said that he has a leonine face. And another, it's said that he has a lion type head. And I found this very interesting because of the fact that most of the texts speak on this one spirit. Doesn't classify his appearance, just what he's able to do. I mean, like the Black Raven or the Grimoire of Armadale, you know, these type of things, they describe more about his appearance, but at the same time, what he's capable of doing within a short little proverb. Okay. The proverb of this describes him riding a bear with a viper in his hand. And you look at Michael W. Ford's book on his Goetia. Okay. Same exact thing as that of the Goetia by Dr. Rudd. Okay. So when we look at these two, it's very clear that some of these materials have been just simply regurgitated from previous practitioners. No one's really gotten into the in-depth working with this one spirit. You know, you know, if I had to guess, I would say that Orly Stewart, for an example, who is known and renowned for working with the Goetic demons, has probably worked with this spirit and gotten a lot of beneficial results. I can tell you just by my dealings with the nine Infernal Kings as a whole collective that I've gotten a lot of beneficial outcomes from some of the things that I've called on them for, not just representing them or discussing them. But in this In this case, I have not worked with this spirit on a personal level outside of calling on the entire Nine Kings and opening the floor to them. And I do plan on working with him. It's just a matter I haven't had a need for it as of yet. So, I mean, normally if you need monetary gain, you'd go to like Viney and Boone. Okay. Boone is someone that is very good to work with within this fashion because this is what he does. He brings financial profit to you. A lot of the spirits out of the 72 goetic demons has the ability to reveal the location of hidden treasure. Hell, even Lucifer Raphael himself, the ancient pact maker and scribe, is known for taking you into the spirit and to the treasures where you can take as much as you can carry in your hands and then bringing snapping you back into your body. Okay. So it's really not how should I say this, a grasp to see that Persian is just one of these beings who can discover and hide treasures from the world. Okay. This is something that is not too hard to imagine. Okay. But to see the different perceptions of the way he looks, from having a lion's head to having a Leo 9 face. I mean, what does that really mean? A Leo 9 face. Just for the hell of it. Got my cell phone right here. Okay. And I'm going to type this in because I want to read this to you. Okay. Let's see. Leo 9 face. Okay. Is it resembles that of a lion? So basically, it's the exact same expression, just two different perceptions. In this case, it resembles that of a lion. It is seen in multiple conditions and has been classically described for lepromantius leprosy, as well as Paget's disease of the bone. Wow. Imagine that. Right there, you've got a medical condition that we know today, just within this fashion. Ironic how a lot of these things that we call medical diseases or deformities within the skin or appearance is traced straight back to demons. I mean, you consider Persian has this Leonine face, which is apparently associated with Paget's disease and leprosy. But yet, if you go back to the Munich manuscript, you also got the 36 deacons of destruction, which is associated with plagues and diseases and natural disasters. You go back into the Dead Sea Scrolls, into the scroll of Amram, okay, or Amram, I should say, and it shows where it's it's a discussion of political upheaval, disasters, natural plagues, and whatever. You go into the old Germanic, the Proto-Germanic time period, and you see where the Dark Elven, known as the Drelith, are associated with death, disease, plagues, famine, the whole king caboodle. Go into Christianity, and you have the four horsemen, specifically that of death and famine. Okay, ironic how this is a reoccurring feature within the description of these beings and what they're supposedly bringing. You go back into the ancient Greek definition of the coco, of the daemon. You have the coco daemon, The cocoa daemon is considered to be baneful or harmful to the practitioner or human. Huh. You see a pattern here. It's ironic, isn't it? But yet, I've never had an issue with these beings. I've never been sick. They've never made me sick, or, you know, I don't look anything like what they're being described as. Even the witches and warlocks are considered to be baneful, harmful. These witches today in folklore and pop culture are seen as having warts and deformities. Is this not being handed down into the imagery of practitioners of sorcery, cultism on any given level? And yet we know this to be untrue. But yet here we are yet again seeing a very powerful being who was considered one of the first to fall from grace in one case. Another case says that he's a demon, a draconic. Huh. Interesting. So which text is true? Well, you have to go back into history. You have to go back into mythology to find that truth. But this is just a little taste of what and who this spirit is. Not just one of the 9 great kings of the Goetia, but the sources. I just named off, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sources of where you can find this one spirit. Why don't you go out and get these and do your own research? See where they lead you. You may find something that I've missed, something that I've overlooked, perhaps. It's always better to do your own homework, anyways. That way, you're not misled. You're not led to believe something that is untrue. But that's just my perception of things. It's the way I was brought up. So, with that said, I hope this has been educational. I hope it's been enlightening. And I want to thank Holly for participating and appearing for this video. And for all of those of you who come in after the fact, thank you. All right. Have a good day or a good night, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll hit you up with the 7th king down the line. All right. Have a good one.